Hello, in this video I'm going to integrate MVC2 or Struts version 1.2 in my Hibernate application. So what is Struts? So Struts came up just to not create many servlets or controllers for each request sent by the client. So in Struts we only need one controller or servlet that is going to be configured in struts.config.xml. So what's going to happen is this. So when a client sends a request to the controller is going to create an action form, and then this action form is going to send that form to action. Action is going to execute the request by calling a method from the model, and the model is going to interact with the database. The model is going to return the response to action, and from action to the view or to the JSP page, and from the JSP page to the client. So this is how the framework struts work. So for that we need to create a class that extends action form, another class that extends action. We're going to configure struts config.xml. We are going to create one JSP page and configure the web XML file. So let's start by creating the action classes. So it's gonna be here. So I have removed the web folder from src, but I need some struts jars or struts libraries that I'm having here. So those are the struts plus Hibernate jars. I have to copy them and put them in my applications library. It's here. And let's create a folder in which I'm going to create my first class, employee form. So let me call it actions. So in this class I will not need all the employee attributes. I will need only few of them. So I will need the first name, last name, and a list of the employees. So I'm going to display my employees using struts. I will call the bean. I will call the attributes of these action form class, first name, last name, imps, and this class should inherit action form class of struts. Here it is. And then create the setters and getters. Let me create my employee action class. So this class is gonna inherit action of struts, and then I'm going to override execute the method of action, and starts the implementation. So first of all I'm going to get my form and cast it to employee form. I will call it em. And I will need a list of employees. Let me call it lists. It's gonna be an array list. And I have to create an instance of my implementation that I have called DAO implementation. I'll call it D. And then get the list of my employees. And forward, after that I have to set the list of employees. I'll call EF, so it's going to be employee form. I will set it to EF, set employees list, and forward my employee form to a page that I will call employee. So I'll call it employee page. Okay. And now let me get my TLD libraries that I have to put in WebEnv with config struts.config.xml. I already have them, so I'm just gonna copy them. So here they are. Copy them here in WebEnv. So I will need the struts bean, I will need the configuration, I will need a HTML library, logic library. So first of all, let me configure my struts config XML file. So my form bean is called EF, so I call it EF, and then it is of class employee form that is located in actions. So it's going to be actions dot employee form. So this is the global forwards. So I have only one forward, so I called it employee page. So I'm gonna tell whenever the employee action is redirecting me to a page called employee page, this is gonna go to another page, another JSP page that I will call employee.jsp. Employee, and that I'm gonna put in a folder called view. So here I have to configure my actions. So whenever somebody click an action, for example search, the action is gonna call a form, action form called EF, and then it's gonna redirect the request to this action, to the employee action. It is located in actions and it is called employee action, and the scope is gonna be request. So the form bean is gonna send in HTTP servlet request. So I don't need this one. I'll call it application resources. And now let me create my JSP pages. So it's gonna be only one JSP page that I'm gonna put in a folder called view. So it's gonna be employee, and I'm gonna put it in a folder called view. Finish. There it is. So I need to create some directive tags. So it's gonna be some tag libraries. So I will need logic and bean at the moment. So logic is located in WebApp, and it is called struts bean .tld. I will give it a prefix, call it b, and then I will need logic. So logic, and I will call it L. And now I'm going to display the list of employees. We'll need some THs. First one is going to contain first name, last name, and department name. So yada tr, and I'm going to create an iterator. So it is in the logic. So I give the ID, for example, E. The property is gonna be EF, not the property. The name is gonna be EF, and the property is the employees. And now I'm going to get all my employees. So I'm gonna call the bean. So I'm gonna write them. So this one, the name is E, the property is first name. So I gotta do the same for the last name. Property, last name, B, no, so it's gonna be B, B, so now E, quality is department dot name. So when I start the application, I'm gonna be redirected to this employee page. So for that, I'm going to create an index page. So let me create an index page in which I'm going to put only a button that is gonna send me to my employee.jsp page. So it's gonna be something like this. Let me center it. So let me create a table. I'll create a tr in which I'm gonna put my all employees. And in the second line, I'm going to put the button. So it's going to be input. It's gonna be type submit. I'll give it a value. So I'll call it search. After that, I'm going to create a web.xml file. So I gotta go to my project, go to G2EE tool, and then generate. So here it is. So my index is located in view, and now I'm going to create servlet that I will call name, that I will call action, and which is located in org.apache.struts action servlet. So org apache struts action servlet, and initiate my servlet. It's going to be init param that I will call config, and then the name. So it's going to be inside the init param. So param name is config, and then param value is web and slash struts config.xml. And now the mapping. So servlet mapping. So servlet name is action, and the URL pattern is anything that ends by do. So any request that ends by do is gonna be redirected to action servlet, and action servlet is gonna redirect that request to employee action, and employee action is gonna call the method called get all employees from the model, which is DAO implementation. So I think that's enough. So I'm just gonna center this one, center it, and give the table, my table border, and I think I'm gonna be ready to test it. So let me take a look up this one. This one was incommented. Now let me, so my project was already added in the web server, so now gotta run it on the server. So 1 second, I didn't finish this. So I will create an action, so I will put this one in a form, and I will call the action search, and the method post. So when I click the button submit, it is gonna send me to search, and then from search it's gonna call this employee form. It's gonna create a form and then send it to employee action, and then the employee action is gonna call the model. The model is gonna interact with the database and return the result. Okay, let this tests the application on the server. Here it is. So this is my index.html page, and this is the button. So the button should work. Here it is, it works. So this is the first name, last name, and the departments. So this is working, and I think that's it for this video, and have a good day or a good night. Bye.